bet you didn't know this, and we'll kick it off with this. Napoleon, you heard of Napoleon, right? For those that haven't heard of Napoleon, tell us who he was, and you actually said that he accepted Islam?
Correct. Napoleon Bonaparte, the French conqueror, we all know about him, we all studied about him, but we were never told that toward the end of his life in the exile he converted to Islam. And actually some of those who were his companions close to him in the exile, they testify that he used to pray and he used to read Quran.
Now this is academically sound.
Yes, that's
you're an academic.
That's in his own biography.
This is
not from a Muslim or
people can go verify this.
Some Google website. No,
that Napoleon
Bonaparte
accepted Islam.
Correct.
This is deep.
Correct. In his own biography.
In his own biography. Now, what are some of the top?
Just to mention,
please.
Napoleon conquered Egypt, and he claimed to convert at that time, and he wore the thobe and he wore the turban. But that all was propaganda just to touch on the emotions of the Muslims to pass his own agenda. But later on, in the exile, toward the end of his life, he converted for real.
He was French?
Yeah, French.
Now this is coming from a place, I mean, he's actually like a hero to many French, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
But you see a lot of oppression towards Muslims, even though the French, I don't think they would have won the last soccer match, the world champion, if it wasn't for many of the Muslims out there, right?
Correct.
But you see them, what was it, banning hijab and minarets and all other things over there?
French is the heart of Christianity. French always throughout the history represents the heart of Christianity. So if French is under the threat of turning into Muslims because of the refugees, because of the immigrations, because of that. That's why there's a lot of racism in the French over the history. You can test for it. A lot of Orientalists, came from there. Orientalists were the people after the failure of the Crusades in the Muslim world to convert Muslims into leaving Islam at least, and then Christianity. They failed to do that, so they said the best way, then we need to study these people. So they start sending Orientalists called mustashriqeen who posed as Muslims, and they learned everything about Muslims. They learned everything. These people went into the marketplaces, in the masajid, in the circles of knowledge. They learned everything about Muslims, and they went back to Europe, and they start documenting that and giving recommendation how we can conquer these people.
Wow.
And the things that happening in the Muslim world over the last 100 years is the fruit of all this research, because they realize these Muslims are different than us Christians. It's not easy to uproot them from their religion. So how are we gonna do that? And that's why you hear a lot of sayings. For example, give me a prostitute and a glass of wine, and I can do to the Ummah of Muhammad more than cannons and armies.
Did you hear that?
Shahawat.
Following desires.
Give me a woman.
Give me a glass of wine, alcohol, and exploiting the woman now, right? And you advocate the rights of women, but you're actually subjugating her in this way, 100%. Denigrating her.
Yeah.
But then you can destroy.
They said we can do. I'll do to them more than what cannons and armies can do.
Wow.
They know that.
Those are those shaitanic traps that have been set.
100%. Shahawat, desires. And this is where the Ummah of Islam is. Our deen is the right deen. Our Quran is the perfect book. Our Prophet is the best messenger. So how can they attack us? Through them. They can't. So they said we have to get to them through the shahawat and the desires. And we're humans and we're weak.
Do you find it ironic that you see that everyone is trying to make Islam as if it's oppressive towards humanity, it's backwards, but then when you look at it, you study Islam, you go back in history, when the Muslims